Hey everyone, Victor Nuño here, Fantasy Hockey Doctor. Wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite prospects, and that is Zayne Parekh. I have a little video here that we can show of Parekh and some of his great skills, as well as my Fantasy Hockey Life player card. So this is the player card, and what you can see here is I have him at an 8.89. That means an 89% chance of being an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is thinking of your roster. 10 is like your Connor McDavid's. 5 is your average roster player. So he figures to be well above average and a pretty high percentage of hitting that. In fact, I only have one player currently ranked ahead of him. These are skaters with 100 NHL games or less. That's Lane Hudson is ahead of him. And Parekh is number two, just behind him, Alexander Nikishin, Zeke Buium, and Matthew Schaefer. Some things to look at with Parekh is that his time on ice is really good. He doesn't play a lot shorthanded. He shoots a fair amount for the OHL. His passing is pretty elite as well. His peripheral contribution is probably never going to be that high, but he does get a lot of takeaways if your leagues happen to count that. Our tier dynasty does. He doesn't hit or block very much though, so his bash is going to be almost entirely driven by his shots. And then you see some of the play driving. He does pretty well with some of the Fenwick Corsi. Loose puck recovery is pretty good. Puck battles one could be a little bit better, but that's not too bad. And then you can see that the transition game is pretty good. He doesn't really like to dump in or dump out, but the rest of his transition game is really good. So let's look at some of his skills and we can pause and take a look at what kinds of things he's good at. So shooting, and he's number 19 here for Saginaw when we see him. So he's right there on the puck, gets the puck, brings it in. You get a little pass over by Misa and then a backhand shot. Nice finish there. Good patience, following the play. All of that looks really, really good. He's up at the point now, gives a little fake and a shot right under the glove, over the pad, under the glove. Really good shot selection there, and getting himself into a better position, which is really, really nice. Here he takes the puck in the middle, takes one quick look, hesitation in the net. That's the kind of scoring he can do. And some of that should be translatable to the NHL if there's enough traffic in between. Here he is with the Flames, and you can see him right in the middle here, number 89. Let's back that up just a little bit. Right here he is. He comes down, takes a little slap pass, and puts it in the net. I think that was his first NHL game. Let's do that one more time because it's a little bit hard to tell. So he is down here in the corner. No, he's right here. Sorry, right here. Comes in, slap pass, and goal. Nice. So let's look at some playmaking. Again, with Saginaw here with the puck. Comes in, waits. That's more of a shot. That's a rebound and a goal, but certainly that helps create some offense by getting pucks on net and then getting the rebounds. Here he is taking the puck behind the net and head up, always waiting. Nice little pass. Gets kind of tripped down, but he already knows where he's going with this puck before he even does it. He's well aware of who's on the far side. Really high hockey IQ, anticipating the play. All of that's going to translate really, really well. Here we see him on the right point, brings it in, pass across, boom, nice goal. That kind of off look, that no look pass is really elite, and that should translate pretty well. Here he is playing for Canada. There's number 89 on the point, brings it down, coming around the net and pass out in front. Really good to get it out in front. That player probably shouldn't have been left alone in front, but hey, it was a good play by him. Physicality and defense. People often talk about that he's not good defensively, but I think he's got some underrated good qualities for his defensive game. Here he is right here, just laying the body, anticipating where the play is going to go. That kind of play goes a long way. People will hesitate a little bit about coming down his side, so that part's nice. Here you see him get poke checked when he kind of tried to maybe do a little too much with the play, and the guy sneaks down and scores a goal. So he also went for a hit a little bit out of position, so that was a little bit of the not so good stuff. I'm sure learning more structure, he can get around some of that. Here he is in the NHL, getting not the best play there for him. And then we see him over here on the wall, fighting on the wall, getting puck, winning it, getting it out to his teammate. That was all pretty nice. So all in all, that's what you can look for Zayne Parekh. Elite offense and absolutely electric upside. I think the defensive floor is really what's going to limit how much he gets in terms of leeway and opportunity. But I think his defensive play and his skating is much better than some people say. And I think Calgary is thirsty for this type of infusion of offensive creativity. So I think it could go really well for him. I think he's a reasonable dark horse for the Calder. If anyone wins it other than Parekh or than Demidov, it might be Parekh. And I think that Calgary Flames should be happy about him for a long time coming. And I think in your fantasy league, he's going to be a tremendous asset. So hopefully you enjoyed this, watching some video, getting excited about what Parekh can do. And if you're interested in seeing any more content or looking at some of my ranks or player cards, you can go to patreon.com/fantasyhockeylife. Thanks so much for watching.